too thin, too slow, but he gets the job done. When he was a freshman, Nate Blackwell almost single-handedly beat St. Joe's, in fact, right here at the Spectrum just a few years ago. Now, almost suddenly, seemingly, he is a senior. Prism's Larry Rosen looks back now at this Owl's great career.
Blackwell working on Palmer. Bingo! A sold-out McGonigal Hall. Nationally rated Temple upends the legendary UCLA Bruins. A program has come full circle, led by a Philadelphian who, too, has come full circle. This is a story of roots, of a skinny youngster turned finished product, the boy who became a man.
He has a strong family, very strong family, and they're very close. His mom and his pop, and just about everybody that you can think of in this city that's named Blackwell comes to all the games. You can't mistake them. You can look at them and you know that they're all lookalikes. But they had a great influence, a great impact.
A working-class South Philadelphia row house, like so many others. But a glance inside the world of the Blackwell clan reveals a home brimming with love and direction. A family gathers around the dining room table on this night, again drawn together to share the joy of an eldest son. A family album holds the physical memories. A mother's heart fills with pride.
We've always tried to teach him to follow up with anything that he starts. You don't be a quitter. And just to be the best he could be at anything he got into.
And what he did best was play basketball, morning, noon, and night.
He loved it so much that even in the house he played it with stockings balled up there. So we got used to that.
He always wanted the ball. Whenever the pressure system moments, he wanted to be the one to win it or lose it. Didn't matter to him as long as he took the shot.
The only trouble he ever got in had to do with playing basketball. He would go and maybe not come back on time. You know, he'd go to play ball and he wouldn't make it back for dinner or whatever. That's the only trouble he's ever gotten into.
Well, his mother was the school teacher and I was the principal. So,
Growing up in South Philly, there's a lot of things that I could have gotten into. My father, who was real disciplined on me, you know, making sure that I never really got into anything dumb. And my mother, who was the teacher, like he said, you know, taught me all the good values, the things that I should be doing. And my father more than anyone else, gave me that never quit anything that you start attitude.
Nate Blackwell achieved his earliest basketball goals under head coach Mitch Snyder of South Philadelphia High School. Many South Philly stars had gone to other neighborhoods to make their names. Nate Blackwell remained within a mile of the homestead. Snyder early on saw star quality.
Nate himself, when he came in here in 10th grade, was obviously a skinny 6'4" young man who you knew was going to be great. He was feisty, he was tough, he was hungry, he was aggressive, and he had a tremendous head on his shoulders. He loved to play and he loved to compete.
Inner city legends are filled with awesome athletes who never fully harness their ability. Nate Blackwell learned early on to take a different pathway to glory.
I think when I first started out, I was young. I wanted to be a runner, a leaper, a guy who could dunk over everybody. And, you know, it took me a while to realize that I didn't have those capabilities. I was slow. I couldn't jump. So I started using my head, and you know, I was able to get over. You know, I found myself scoring a lot of points and not having a lot of what you would call athletic skills as the other players did, but I was still managing to score a lot.
And as a senior, Captain Nate Blackwell was recognized as the finest player in the public league.
When he won the Marquardt Award, as a senior, I said to the gentleman at the luncheon, someday this young man could be the mayor of the city. He has that much ability.
It was not necessarily the type of ability that causes college recruiters to knock down the doors. It took a special man with a special sense of the game to foresee the development of Nate Blackwell.
See, John Chaney himself is a legend in South Philly, so I knew he would be in good hands.
Of course, I'd watched him for many years, and of course, he just looked like the type of guy that I was when I played basketball, because he was real skinny, and I was real skinny in high school as well. And sometimes, you know, if you don't look at a youngster very closely, you have a tendency to feel that his overall body makeup can fool you. You have to watch his deeds.
In his freshman season, the seeds are planted. Nate is instant off-the-bench offense behind starters Terrence Stansbury and Jim McLaughlin. As a sophomore, Nate has shifted full-time to the point guard role, delivering the mail inside to workhorse Granger Hall. The Owls' first ever Atlantic 10 title leads to the NCAA tournament. National recognition begins after a second-round tournament loss to Patrick Ewing and Georgetown. Blackwell named the Owls' most valuable player. And as a junior, Blackwell has become fully at home with Chaney's value system. His numbers steadily rise, and most significantly, the wins. 3 seasons of 25 or more victories without that overwhelming physical presence. A clear understanding of how this man's game is played.
What I've tried to point out to him, that some of the great guards in history, some of the great lead guards in history, have been floor players, players who stay on the floor, play on the floor, and run a game with his head more so than anything else.
It really took me a while to work into it to what I would call a natural point guard position. I think now I'm at the point where I can do both. I'm capable of going out getting 10 assists and scoring maybe 15 to 20 points a game.
Now, as a senior, the accolades are fitting. Again, the Owls MVP for his role against Kansas in last year's NCAA tournament. A special moment to commemorate Nate topping the 1,000-point plateau. And in Chaney's vernacular, the floor player has become the go-to man. Blackwell, who learned to look for his shot last, is now the man with the basketball in all critical moments.
You can see the leadership qualities of Nate Blackwell exerting himself right now.
Well, Nate's just taken over.
John Chaney's firstborn is now fully grown. Like all fathers, he knows the time to cut the strings is nearly here.
Well, only me, I'll maybe just stand up there and just cry for about an hour or so. He's pretty special, and it just brings up something a little heavy in my throat right now when you talk about him leaving me, because I'm pretty selfish.
But the coach, the father figure, always wants a bit more for his offspring. Chaney never had the opportunity to play in the NBA. His preparation of Nate Blackwell has been a 4-year mission to prepare a basketball player whose skills translate to any level of competition. Nate, the first of his family to attend college, is a leader, a role model, an unselfish player. But in striving for that next goal, Nate at last will admit a personal challenge.
Anything that I become from here on out, I think my parents did their job. They raised me. Now everything that I get is basically is for me, even though I know they'll feel good about what I can accomplish, but everything I do from here out will probably be for me. And if I make the pros, it'll be the answer to my dreams. It'll just make me feel good, and I know it'll make my family feel proud of me.
Humble beginnings with hope. The threads of a child's imagination tied together by achievement. Lessons of perseverance with vision. Dream on, Nate Blackwell. Dream on.
Nate and the Owls tied with Villanova. The Wildcats here at the half, 30-30. Second half.